overcrowding, antisocial behaviour, noise nuisance, we also saw that these issues were evenly distributed and affects every ward in Newham. And there's the map. The red dots are antisocial behaviour activities in private rented sector properties across Newham. I promise you that every councillor you speak to will tell you that they are inundated with complaints related to this. And it is, I won't say always, but it is usually private rented property. You ask about the council property, we're really tough on that. We're the second people to say we'd evict people who are rioting from our property. And we were very clear about a very tough approach. And actually we're about to institute a policy that says only people who work will get access to our council stock, because we're really determined to drive up the quality and the quality of what's happening there and ensure that people behave properly. But that, I think, says to you, when you look at that, by the way, the large bits of that down there is Beckton Gasworks, right? So the bits that are blank aren't places that people necessarily live. So you can see that. We consistently see around 25 to 30% of private rented sector properties having antisocial behaviour issues. Of course we take action against tenants, but consideration of this and other analysis convince us that a borough-wide approach to licensing is proportionate and necessary. If we'd implemented a hotspot approach, which we did think about, it would have been confusing for landlords and tenants. It would have shifted things around the borough. We wouldn't have known where it was going. And also, it would have been confusing to landlords, many of whom are small businesses, and I think we'd simply have created more red tape and more difficulties for landlords. This way it's clear and transparent. If you're in the London Borough of Newham, you understand that we're going to license and we're going to then work to make sure we've got good quality property, and that actually good landlords are then able to make the profit out of it. Now I think it's a balanced approach. I don't expect that it should be followed everywhere or can be followed everywhere. That's not our issue. Our issue is, with the problems that we have in Newham, our housing market is different to many parts of the country, where the PRS is not a problematic issue. I'll tell you part of the reason for that is that I fully expect the value of property prices in Newham to rise. We've got the Olympics, we've got the regeneration, we've got the stuff going on here. We know that this is a good place to invest. So we know it's a good investment place. So PRS, private rented sector, will continue to grow and continue to be. And we want to make sure there's good quality with houses rising in value and good landlords offering a good offer. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to be looking for. Let me just describe the scheme a wee bit, because we're going to provide a clear standard mark that tenants, landlords and letting agents can understand. It'll be made easier for the council to target resources on the landlords who don't play by the rules. Right, that's one of the things we're really keen to do, is make sure that our focus is on the bad landlords and that we know who they are and we can focus on it. And it will just be one part of our example, for part of our approach. For example, this year we will be responsible for more planning enforcement than any other council in the country to stop problem development. We put £1 million by just to knock stuff down that people have built, because they're not going to do it. We are making massive... I think we now have the record for fixed penalty notices in London. We are determined to drive the quality and standard of our environment up. And this is just one part of what we're trying to do. It'll also be financially fair. Now, we're proposing to introduce a scaled fee so that good, compliant landlords don't have to carry the cost of licensing rogue landlords. So at the moment, and we're out to consultation on this, landlords who license their properties properly will pay a discounted fee of £300 for 5 years. That's for 5 years, and I have to confirm it is 5 years. Accredited landlords may pay a further discount fee of £150 for 5 years. Landlords who are slow to license, it'll be £500, and landlords who fail to license their properties may face a higher fee. But I'm also very happy to get engaged in a discussion about how we reduce that. I am not keen to see good landlords pay for this. I want the bad landlords to pay, not the good ones. And I'm quite happy to look at structures and how we structure it and how we minimise the problems. And I don't want to be chasing good landlords. If we've got a good landlord, I want to say thank you very much, now go away, we'll see you in 5 years. That's what we want to do. If it's good landlord, we don't want to be focusing on you. It was just a waste of our time and a waste of your time. And that's why we want to consult, and we'll consult further on the scheme to get it right, because we know who we want to focus on. But there's an awful lot of them. 23% cash landlords in Little Ilford, right? 25 to 30% antisocial behaviour activity in PRS properties. Just think about it. It's a big challenge for us, and something, frankly, my residents shouldn't have to put up with. It's not acceptable. Right, this is a consultation. I'm here to listen to your views. I can't guarantee we'll change our approach as a result, but we will listen. That's part of why I'm here. We're going to go away from this, talk about what we hear, talk about the arguments, and then we'll publish another phase in December because we wanted to do it properly and give people a chance to have their views heard. The private rented sector is an important part of the housing offer for Newham residents. Good landlords will always be welcome in Newham and have nothing to fear from the scheme we're consulting on. However, the private rented sector causes community problems both for vulnerable tenants and the wider community. Voluntary accreditation schemes have not succeeded in engaging bad landlords, where the experience of selective licensing shows that regulation can be an effective tool for dealing with the problems we are facing in Newham and throughout Newham. Driving up the standards in the sector will bring benefits to good landlords and tenants alike. We have a major problem in this borough with badly managed private rented property, right across the borough. It causes our residents lots of problems. We must do more to support our residents. I believe this scheme will go a long way to making this a borough where people will choose to live and stay, and in the end, that's a promise I was elected on, and that's a promise I mean to keep.